Right, so what I would suggest when I'm dieting or cutting, the first thing is consistency. A lot of people, when they come to diet, they think, right, I'm going to do a 12-week cut and that's it. For me, they always ask about condition and how do you bring that shreddedness to the stage. And the thing I found worked best for me is to keep consistent throughout the full year. Treat it as a lifestyle rather than a competition prep. When obviously stepping off stage, you are going to want to binge, you are going to want to try the foods you've not tried for 12 weeks. But it's all in moderation and getting back into consistency. So you need to find food that you're going to enjoy 365 days of the year. Granted, there are going to be times when you're not going to like the foods you eat sometimes on prep, but that's the whole point of bodybuilding, is finding that formula that works best for you. So that's one thing I would suggest when you're cutting, is looking for foods that you can sustain for a long period of time, not for... Yeah, so the second tip would be, when dieting or cutting, give yourself enough time. Obviously, if you've never dieted before and your body's not used to getting down to the low body fat, for me, I'd always give myself a longer period of time. It's harder that way, it's more monotonous and you're in a diet for longer, but it means you can assess the process a lot better, the fat burning, holding on to muscle a lot more, and it's all about trial and error. So for me, it's coming down nice and slow, and again, finding the foods what you enjoy and that your body's reacting well to. If for any reason you're not losing weight or anything like that, that's when you go back to the drawing board and look at different types of food which are in the same food group, and you look at your output. It's all about your output as well. So as long as your output is more than your input, i.e. you're burning more calories than you're consuming, you're going to be in a deficit and you're going to lose weight. So the third tip, what a lot of people tend to do when they start dieting, they think it's all about cardio. For me, I found too much cardio, you're going to lose muscle as well as fat. And the key to dieting is not about how much weight you lose, it's about how much muscle you can hold on to whilst chipping away at that stored fat. So for me, I found weighted circuits, more supersets, drop sets within my workouts rather than mass amounts of cardio. That way you're still stimulating the muscle fibres, you're still forcing blood into the muscle to give it reason to grow and to stay there, whilst expending calories at the same time. And it's a proven fact that you burn more calories through weight training than you do on a cardio machine. So the final tip, obviously, we're going to talk about cardio. For me, and this is personal to myself and to my metabolism, what I found works best for me. I've always worked better on low intensity cardio, fasted first thing in the morning, rather than the high intensity after training or even first thing in the morning. The reason for that is when you start to speed your metabolism up, and I've got a very fast metabolism, it's very hard to control what you're burning, because obviously in a high intensity state, you're going to raise your metabolism through the roof and it's going to burn for a longer period of time. For me, when I'm dieting, again, it's trying to hold on to as much muscle as I can. So with the low intensity, I've found on all my preps that I can control my fat loss a lot better. It's a slower process, but I found the end results to be better for my body because I can stay full. If for any reason I'm losing weight too quickly, I can hold back off that, or I can increase my calories. Whereas the high intensity, for me, if you're a guy or a female who's massively overweight, it's great for that. I would advocate that and promote for if you're trying to shift body fat quite quickly. But when you're trying to sculpt your body and get that crisp fullness stage ready, I've always promoted the low intensity fasted in the morning. Obviously, what I mean by fasted is I've slept or fasted over 8 hours, so I've got no fuel, no ready available food in my body. So when I'm training first thing in the morning, the only thing my body can use as energy is stored fat.